Hey guys, welcome back to another comprehensive hero guide. Today we're going to be covering Anna. We're going to be going over all three of her builds, and we are going to be talking about all the talents, why they're good, why they might not be so good, what's flexible,
Heading out.
and just going over the general tips and tricks of playing Anna. Now, starting off with the first build here, most of Anna's builds are just going to be following one talent path. This is going to be, as you can see, the grenade talent path or the W build. You're going to be taking most of the W talents that are offered. Level 1 starting with contact healing. Hitting a hero with a grenade increases the damage and healing for 30% per hero hit. This is pretty versatile. You should normally be able to hit at least two people, if not more. If your team's
This
grouped
is
up, you should be
much
able
better
to
than
hit more,
retirement.
especially after you get the increased AoE at level 7. But really simple to hit two heroes, right? If you're standing next to one of your DPS in the back line, you can just throw it on both of you guys, and that'll be a increased heal by quite a bit right there. You can see it went from the 333 healing there to a, let's do this one more time here, to a 533 heal. That's 200 extra healing because we hit two more of these heroes. Quite a significant buff in the number of healing. You can also, of course, if an enemy
My
is
worst
diving you,
feelings
it's pretty
tomorrow.
easy to just grenade yourself and amplify the both the healing on you and the damage that your grenade does to the person that's diving you. And of course, just in general, if your team's fighting and you see them clump up for a moment, you can always just throw it to your team and heal them whenever you want. Alright, moving on to level 4. Now, actually, level 4, there's a W talent, but in higher level play, most people don't take this talent. Most people will end up taking Debilitating Dart. You can take Biotic Enhancements if you want to. It's not bad. It increases the bonus healing duration by 50%, which means the 25% increased healing after you throw the grenade, you see this little plus icon. That means they receive 25% extra healing from you for 4 seconds. If you take biotic enhancements, that 4 seconds goes to 6 seconds, and your grenade cooldown goes from 16 seconds to 13 seconds. So it does help the grenade build a little bit, but it's not really mandatory. And debilitating darts happens to be very, very powerful. Whoever you hit, it is a skill shot, bear that in mind, so you need to hit it. If you miss, however, the cooldown is only 12 seconds, so it's not usually not the end of the world, but it's just very powerful. You can fire it at a tank in order to use the 50% move speed slow in order to lock their tank down in the front line. Hard for him to get out. You can
Acknowledged.
fire it at one of the backline DPS um, and lower their damage by 50%, which is really, really powerful. Um, or if someone's diving you, let's say Illidan, Zeratul, one of the Tracer, one of these guys is diving you, 50% damage reduction on the person that's diving you. Extremely powerful for letting you survive those dives, and Anna is a hero that is notoriously weak to divers, so really good part of the toolkit there. Uh, Level 7, we have Anti-Healer for the W build. Increase the area of the grenade, which is really helpful for hitting more people, synergizes with your level 1. And the duration of the healing reduction gets increased by 0.75, so it goes from 1.75 to 2.5 seconds of no healing allowed.
Let's
And
get to work.
Anna's grenade is one of her best talents. This is really slept on. When you see this minus 100 for 2.5 seconds, whoever, this is just a unbelievably powerful ability because you see who your team is going on, you can slow them, you can sleep them, and then you prevent them from being healed in the next 2.5 seconds. That is a big window for your team to kill whoever they need to kill, right? 2.5 second window on a kill target, very, very good. Very underrated ability is the minus 100 heal on Anna's W. Going on to level 10, Nano Boost is going to be what you're going to want most of the time. I'm sure you guys all know what Nano Boost does, right? It gives them 30% extra damage, extra spell power, and their basic abilities cooldowns are recharging 150% faster. So it gives them, and it gives them 200 mana, so it ensures they will have the mana to cost or to cast whatever abilities they need to. So just really solid ability here. Usually used with mages to great effect, right? Nano boost on any mage is extremely powerful, but you don't even need to use it on mages. There are a lot of spell damage heroes that you could use it on that are also good. For example, spell damage offlaners. Nano Malthael is a really powerful combination. Nano Q build VP Zeratul, Nano Sonya. There's a lot of stuff that is just really, really powerful with more cooldowns and more spell damage. You can even nano boost something like a Muradin, um, or an Anubarak, really any tank, and they just get more than twice the amount of stuns that they normally have, and you can just use it simply for additional CC. Or in double healer compositions, you can even nano a healer and just get insane amounts of extra healing. Very flexible, very powerful. Nano boost is going to be what you're going to want almost all the time, in my opinion, when you're trying to win. Eye of Horus is situational. It can be okay. Um, in a team fight, I think it's a lot weaker than Nano Boost because you lock yourself down. You can't move while you're firing these rounds, right? If you want to move, you have to cancel it. So, really big downside of rooting yourself. The most common use of Eye of Horus is actually on channel maps where you maybe take it on Towers of Doom, Cursed Hollow, and you just stand really far somewhere safe in your fort and you just stall the channel right as they're about to finish. You shoot them one time and you can do that up to 6 times. So it can be useful sometimes for stalling, but really, I think you're going to want Nano Boost most of the time. Level 13, we're going to want smelling salts, if applicable. So if the enemy team has really any kind of stun on their team, smelling salts by far the best talent at level 13 because not only do you cleanse the target, you remove the stun, you also give them 50 armor for 2 seconds after that. And armor in this game is extremely broken. 50 armor is like a hardened shield. That is basically like a level 20 talent, in terms of how much armor you're receiving. So very, very powerful. However, if they have no stuns, then of course you don't take this because, does nothing if the enemy team has no stuns. I believe the second best talent on this tier is the Purifying Darts. So if your enemy team, for example, has main tank Arthas and maybe they have a Malfurion and they just have a lot of roots but no stuns, well, you can always take Purifying Dart. This removes roots, which is also very powerful. Really good against stuff like Junkrat Trap and stuff, as well, by the way. And even good against stuff like Jaina, who just perpetually slows your team. Um, and not only does it remove the slow and the root, it also heals them for 20% extra. So very nice talent here. I think Speed Serum is the weakest talent. I would normally not go this. It is comparable. It's basically a purifying dart that does not remove roots. Because when you remove a slow, and really there's almost going to be no game where no one has a slow. Slow is extremely common in HOTS. So, removing a slow and giving them move speed is pretty much the same thing. Um, and you're just losing out on the functionality of the roots, and you're losing out on the additional healing. So I think Speed Serum, by far the weakest talent on this tier. You're going to want to be always taking Purifying Dart or Smelling Salt. Level 16,
Ole, muévense.
the best talent usually, especially when it comes to higher elo, is active reload. I know a lot of people like sharpshooter. Sharpshooter is not bad. Now, if you have really good accuracy or if you just really want to hear the dings, it's not bad. It's up to 85% extra healing when you stack it 10 times, when you hit your heal 10 times without missing. And that's a lot of extra healing, to be fair. But the drawbacks are pretty severe. If you ever miss, you have to start over, which really sucks. Or it's actually an extra 90% healing, uh, which is not bad once again. But missing really screws this up. And also, even at max stacks, it's only 90% extra healing. Um, and while that can be better over the course of an entire fight, if you never miss, you're gonna get like more sustained healing over that course of the fight. Um, active reload gives you 3 extra healing charges instantly. So that's just 300% extra healing instantly whenever you want to, right? So, in a long fight, a sharpshooter that never misses will get more healing overall, but there is extra value in HOTS just to prevent one person from dying, right? A lot of the time, it's not that you need extra healing over the entire fight. A lot of the time, it's just you just needed to save the one guy that died because as soon as one person dies, it becomes a 4 versus 5, and you just kind of lose the fight after that, right? So, usually it's better to just have the extra healing.
Understood.
Having 300% extra on-demand healing that can potentially hit two people if you're using your D is just really, really good, right? So you just Q, use it, Q, Q,
Going
Q,
to be okay.
and you just have 300% extra healing there. That's a really big clutch heal. It's almost like an ancestral, um, and the clutch healing factor is just what makes it really really good. Level 20, if we took Nano Boost here, we are going to take Nano Boost upgrade. I believe those two are by far the best at level 10 and 20. Deadeye can be fun. It actually does do a good amount of damage if you're lining up a lot of people because the damage increase counts no matter who you hit, whether it's an enemy hero or your hero. So there's up to like 9 targets that you can be lining up here. So potentially you could hit, maybe like 9, maybe even more if there's Vikings or Rexar or something. Uh, so you could be hitting like technically maybe around 9 people every time if you're a perfect Deadeye, which would increase the damage by 45% every single time. That's not gonna happen, but even hitting 2 or 3 every single shot makes your Eye of Horus damage pretty significant towards the later shots. However, not really as good as Nano Boost in most cases.
Ugh,
Alright,
I will
so that
feel
is
this
the first
tomorrow.
talent build here. Let us
Choose a
go to
talent.
the second talent
Choose a
build. Now the
talent.
second talent build will be the sleep build. It's gonna
Choose a
be
talent.
You're just going to be
Choose a
taking sleep
talent.
talents across the
Choose
board
a
here.
talent.
Pretty important to take overdose here. With most of with the W build, you could take darts, but if you're gonna go full sleep build, most likely enemy team has like a lot of melee, or they're just really likely to clump. Um, so if you're gonna take this build, you kind of want to pierce all enemy heroes most of the time. Honestly, though, you could still take debilitating dart if you're really worried about a diver or anything like that. Just using your D, even without overdose, gives you 1 pierce, right? You can hit up to 2 people. This gives you infinite pierce, but 2 pierce plus debilitating dart can also be a good option. So really, anytime you're scared, you can tech in debilitating dart with either of these builds. Once again, level 10, I've already explained the difference between these
Choose a
two, so I'm going to take
talent.
Nano Boost. I've explained the difference between the level 13s as well,
Choose
so
a
Never
talent.
stop
we're going to take
learning.
the same talents here. 16, I've also explained these talents. This does not change.
Choose a talent.
Same talents here, same explanations, and level 20 is also the same explanation. So basically, the only difference with the E build is the first three, right? So first level 1 E talent cooldown gets reduced, goes from 14 to 12 seconds. It's nice, but it's not that big of a deal. Upon waking up, the enemies are slowed for 3 seconds. That is kind of nice too. It's just kind of like a nice thing to have. Feels good when you hit someone with Sleep Dart. Really powerful CC, but not the strongest talent in the world. Uh, Level 4, we've already explained. This one applies 4 doses to the people that you hit. Actually, if you do end up taking overdose, you could potentially take concentrated doses as well, depending on how many people you hit. So let's say
Play
you
right.
hit all 3 of these guys, right? So that's gonna be, as you can see here, 12 stacks. And oh, I didn't take it. That's why it's not working. But all right, let me take reset the
Choose a
talents real quick to
talent.
show you this,
Choose a
what
talent.
that does.
A
Choose a
wise
talent.
decision.
Choose a talent. Choose a
So which
talent.
will take
Choose a talent.
concentrated doses this time. So if you hit something like 3 people, that's 12 stacks, and instead of 400
Enemy
healing, it's
contact.
1,000 healing, right? Because 12 stacks means this is going up by, was that 120, over 140% increase on your healing. So it can actually be good to combo overdose with
On the
concentrated doses
move.
in cases where you are getting multi-man ease and just a lot of
You look
stacks in general. I mean,
tired.
I can even mark this one and it'll be
Slowly
even more,
healing up.
right? So don't forget your auto attack also gives stacks on people. So that's a nifty little combo you can do with overdose. But other than that, yeah, it just applies 4 doses and it pierces when you use your D. Level 7, probably the strongest sleep dart build, honestly. You get 25% move speed for every hero hit by sleep dart. So let's hit a couple heroes here again. We hit 3.
Affirmative.
And once it runs out, it well, it didn't really do anything. Hold on, what's happening here? Upon waking the enemy heroes, oh, I see. So you gain the move speed right away. So it
Enemy
should
in
be
my
like
sight.
right now. Yeah, so you can see we're way faster. And it looks like the 25% move speed does not change, only the 2 seconds changes. So I believe if you hit 3 heroes, it's 6 seconds. If you hit 1 hero, you get this for 2 seconds. And when they're waking up, they take 8% of their max HP. So this could be a pretty decent tech against stuff like Diablo or Cho'Gall. 8% max HP is the same as like a Tychus's Titan grenade at level 16. A lot of level 16 nukes only do 8%. Malthael W at 16 does 8% damage. So having 8% max HP damage, that's true damage. So it ignores armor. It's pretty good for a level 7 talent. All right, moving on to the last build. Now, this build is going to be not as good as the other two builds. It's going to be more of a fun build here. You guys might have seen it
Choose a
on my
talent.
YouTube.
Choose a
But
talent.
this is basically the Sergeant Anna build. Okay, full disclaimer, this build is not actually very good unless you get like
Acknowledged.
400, 500 plus stacks, which is very difficult to do, but it's a lot of fun. So
Choose a talent.
I'll show you the build here.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent. Choose a talent. Choose a
Same
talent.
thing for level 10 and 13.
Choose a talent.
Um, and 20, those don't really. Oh, actually, the 20 does change. Hold on, let me do this one more time.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
دلوقتي
Choose a
جه الوقت
talent.
اللي انتصر
Choose
فيه
a
على
talent.
أعدائي.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
All right, so the 20 does change. The 20, we get dynamic
I
optics.
will
So I'll
feel this
explain this build
tomorrow.
now. First, you get vampiric rounds, and it's very
I'm
simple.
going in.
You just need to stack on someone 5 times, and then every stack after the 5th one gives you one of these dings, right? And what does one of these dings do? Every ding increases your healing from your passive by 1%. Uh, or sorry, it increases the healing from your passive by 0.25%. The first time you get to 5 doses, your healing from your passive increases by 1%. So you can see the passive here. It heals you for 60% of the damage it does, and at level 20, it does 88 over 5 seconds, which is not a lot, but when you get like 100, 200, 300 stacks of this, this starts being the strike healing increase becomes like starts being like 200% of this. Um, or even more, right? And that can get significant, but it's very hard to get these stacks. Now you're going to use Overdose at level 2 once, at level 4 once again, which combos with your concentrated doses at level 16, like I explained earlier. And at level 7 is also very important. You're going to get spell power reduction. This is probably the most powerful talent in this build.
This is much better
Because you're
than the
trying to,
time.
get stacks, you're
I'll
going to
make
be trying
quick
to
work
mark
of them.
people all the time. You're going to be trying to, keep them at maximum doses. And everyone you hit with your dart is instantly going to have 40% spell power reduction. That means any kind of magic damage they do is going to be reduced by 40%. And any healing healers do also get reduced by 40%. So easily the most powerful talent when comboed with your level 4 with the 4 doses. The rest of the talents remain the same until level 20. And
All
level
in my nexus.
20 is the talent that basically makes you into Sergeant Anna. When you use it, your attack range goes up. So Anna's normal attack range is already very high. It's 6.5. That's among the highest of the normal heroes. But when you use your aim down sights, your passive, this increases your attack range by another 4. So you go to 10.5, which is basically like hammer, a siege hammer, right? That's why I call it
I'm
Sergeant
going in.
Anna. You can see the range is really far. And not only is the range really far, you can see I'm attacking really fast. Basic attacks increase your attack speed for 10% every auto attack, up
I
to
will feel this
100%
tomorrow.
extra attack speed, and you can keep track of how much the counter is there. You can see I'm at 10 stacks, which is 100% bonus attack speed. And as long as you attack something before this timer runs out, it'll keep stacking. So it's not that hard to do when you have 10% attack range. It'll work on anything, not just heroes. You know, it'll work on minions, so you can stack this up on minions or sidewalls or any object you can find, mercenaries, you know. And at max stacks, you're basically a hammer that heals for a lot, and you have self peel with the sleep dart, and you know you can have a lot of fun just kind of stutter stepping, marking everyone, and playing as if you are a healing Sergeant Hammer. Um, in this build, I usually do try to save Biotic Grenade for myself because we need a lot of self healing because we're going to be up in the enemy's face a lot, just trying to get stacks via auto attacks. And just one more comment on the W build. If you so when do you know how to play every one of these builds, right? Well, it's really just comes down to logic. So let's take the W build for example. When is a good time to play that? Well, let's say the enemy team has an Alex Straza. Well, with your increased AoE grenade, you can hit the entire Alex Straza W, right? So you basically negate the entire W, and in that case, you could also take grenade cooldown reduction. So every time she has a W, you also have your W, and you can just completely negate her W healing, which is the majority of her healing in most builds. Really powerful. Or let's say they have two healers. Well, if they have two healers, having as much minus 100% healing as you can, you know, increase duration, reduce cooldown really, really good, right? So W build really good against double healer as well. What about, you know, sleep build? Well, sleep build, you know, first of all, like I mentioned before, really good against percent. It has percent damage at level 7, so it's pretty darn good against like Diablos and Cho'Galls, Muradin with Avatar. Any high HP hero, it's already really good. Sleep build also has Pierce, so Pierce can also be really good whenever the enemy teams clump up. Now, this will usually happen when they have more melees. When they have more melees, they usually kind of just clump overlap with each other and you get more pierce value that way. Um, so really, it just comes down to logic, right? And with the Sergeant Anna build, the strongest part of it is the spell power reduction. So the more spell damage heroes they have, the better this becomes. So, you know, say they have two mages, or even if they just have one mage, but maybe their tank does a lot of spell damage, maybe it's a Lightning Breath Diablo, or maybe their offlane does a lot of spell damage. Maybe it's a Sonya, an Alarak, Hogger, you know, Malthael, these heroes do a lot of spell damage. Well, then Mind Numbing Agent becomes extremely good. So just think about the draft, think about what each build is good for, and then make your decision accordingly based off of that. Other than that, that pretty much covers all I wanted to talk
I
about
will feel
for
this
now with Anna.
tomorrow.
If I missed anything, make sure to leave a comment in the sections below, and I'll make sure to answer you down there. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.